Right now, on to the point. A day of giving, the local efforts to bring meals to those in need.
More cold mornings ahead. How long these near freezing temperatures will last.
California's gas prices.
Gas prices are going to rise anywhere from 45 cents to a dollar per gallon.
Tonight, hear from one board member following a controversial vote that could raise prices, why he believes this passed. Plus, time is running out to save a large area of land in Rockland. The option's still on the table. And later, the holiday shopping season is here. What to expect this year and how to avoid possible scams. Good evening and happy Thanksgiving. Of course, thank you so much for joining us on To The Point. I'm Alex Bell, and we know the holidays can be especially tough for those who are going through hard times. But today in Sacramento, the Salvation Army stepped up to provide people with Thanksgiving meals at the Sacramento Center of Hope Shelter. Volunteers began cooking around 4 a.m. this morning, and the organization can usually serve up to 500 meals. On the menu was 60 turkeys, 150 pounds of mashed potatoes, and 150 pounds of stuffing. Out in Stockton, University of the Pacific hosted its long-running Thanksgiving luncheon for international students, student athletes, and others still on campus this holiday season. This is the 22nd year Pacific has hosted the Thanksgiving luncheon. More than 170 students were in attendance, and meals were served by volunteers from the school's Division of Student Life and Bon Appetit, the school's food service provider. In other news, 8 people are displaced after a turkey-related fire. It actually happened this morning around 10:45 off Rye Way in Carmichael. According to the Sacramento Metro Fire, the fire started in the garage of a duplex and was started by frying a turkey. The crews say the fire spread to the living space of the unit, causing some major damage. Another unit also had moderate damage, but thankfully, everyone made it out safely. Let's go and take a light look over downtown Sacramento tonight. We have been seeing some cold overnight temperatures the past few days into this morning. Meteorologist Carly Gomez joining us on this Thanksgiving. How's it looking out?
It is looking chilly. Temperatures have definitely started dropping after that sunset, and now we are in the mid to low 40s for some spots in the valley at 46 in Sacramento, 43 in Fairfield, 47 in Elk Grove, and we are looking at temperatures in our foothill spots already in the upper 30s for Auburn, with 28 up High Truckee and South Lake Tahoe. Now, we do have a dense fog advisory in effect until noon on Friday, and this is from areas of Turlock down toward Bakersfield. The dense fog advisory that was in effect this morning for the Sacramento and San Joaquin Valley spots near Modesto and Stockton did expire and has not been reissued for our area, but that doesn't mean we won't get any fog. We could still see some patchy morning fog into your Friday. Now, a frost advisory is in effect near Napa, Santa Rosa, and the East Bay until 9 a.m. on Saturday. Now, your futurecast low temperatures, what do we anticipate for tomorrow morning? Near freezing point and at freezing point, Elk Grove, Stockton at 35, Sacramento 35, and we are looking at your forecast into tomorrow with temperatures reaching those mid to low 30s and then a high tomorrow about 57 degrees. We'll talk more about what to expect for your Black Friday weekend coming up.
And while the bad weather mostly held off for the record pre-Thanksgiving travel rush, it was a soggy Thanksgiving for dozens of other states. Out in New York City, it rained on the annual Macy's Day Parade. People with ponchos and umbrellas still line the streets, though, to watch the 217 iconic balloons and performers pass by. It was also rainy for Philadelphia's historic parade and in Chicago. Better weather, but chillier for the city's 90th Thanksgiving Day Parade. Meanwhile, upstate in New York, they are bracing for a winter storm that could also affect travel. So AAA is predicting tomorrow between 7 a.m. to 10 a.m. will be the busiest time for that post-holiday travel. So if you are planning to hit the road, they say that you better do it between 1 p.m. After 1 p.m., that will be the best time to get outside. And we also have some good news. Gas prices are lowering this Thanksgiving season compared to 2023. According to AAA, the national average is $3.06 here in California. A gallon of gas will cost you about $4.42 on average. And California gas prices, of course, they are top of mind for everyone here in California. It's been nearly a month since the California Air Resources Board, or CARB, voted on a controversial decision that could possibly raise prices even more for next year. ABC 10's Janina Nguyen spoke with one of 2 board members who voted against the measure and asked why he believes nearly all of his colleagues voted for the change.
Senator Flores?
Flores, no.
Dean Flores was one of 2 out of the 16 CARB board members to vote no on the most recent amendments to the Low Carbon Fuel Standard, or the LCFS. That program's goal is to lower the state's greenhouse gas emissions as the state continues its transition to zero emissions by 2045.
We really didn't debate or have the opportunity to look at additional information, and nonetheless took the vote. Was too much for me to vote any other way but no.
On November 8th, the board held a 12-hour meeting listening to dozens of comments from the public and stakeholders like PG&E. While many people expressed support for the amendments to the LCFS, many, including state lawmakers, opposed it, believing it would drive up gas costs.
Whatever study you looked at, gas prices are going to rise anywhere from 45 cents to $1 per gallon.
The LCFS allows major polluters like oil companies to buy credits and avoid penalties from the state. Regardless of Flores' no vote, the board still passed the measure. Weeks leading up to the vote, CARB's executive officer repeatedly said he did not know how this would impact gas prices.
Gas costs rise, and my response was, no, I don't expect them to.
ABC 10 asked Flores if he believes Dr. Stephen Cliff lied to the public.
I'd rather focus on his further statement. That is, we don't know where gas prices are going. And I think that's absolutely true. And that's what's concerning about it. I don't think anyone was debating whether gas prices would get lower. That's one thing that everybody didn't argue about. And that kind of concerns me as well.
While in Fresno last week, Governor Gavin Newsom expressed his support for the LCFS.
We've long supported low carbon fuel standard. We believe in the importance and the imperative, particularly at this critical moment, as it relates to American history and the likely shift in policies and approach that will be taking place with the Trump administration.
While a nearly 150-page staff report regarding the LCFS mentions drivers would eventually save on gas prices in the coming years, Flores says he has a hard time believing that would actually happen.
I don't know. Let's just use history as an example. When I was a kid, gas cost 25 cents. And I haven't ever seen gas go down all the way into my now 60s.
This board is made up of appointed members and not elected officials, and these are paid positions. Public records show the pay can range from $40,000 to $50,000 a year. In contrast, CARB's chair, Leanne Randolph, made nearly $200,000 in 2023. Because of this, lawmakers have continuously asked for more transparency. If there were to be more oversight or even an audit, Flores says he'll welcome it.
Rightfully, they should get as many answers as they want from CARB, and I think they should obviously, oversight-wise, ask us to justify.
In Sacramento, Jeannie Nguyen, ABC 10.
And we asked, is this a push to get people to stop using gas-powered vehicles? Flores says that he has seen similar models take place in other countries, but believes CARB's goal is to make sure that as much carbon gets out of fuels to reduce the impact on the climate. Still, head on to the point. Time is running out. What needs to be done to save an area of land in Rockland? Plus, the holiday shopping season is here. The Black Friday and Cyber Monday scams to be on the lookout for. Thousands of people laced up their running shoes this morning for the Run to Feed the Hungry. This is the largest fundraiser for the Sacramento Food Bank and Family Services. More than 30,000 people took part this year, and every dollar from this event will be used to feed people at risk of hunger here in Sacramento. But I want to get over to meteorologist Carly Gomez with a look at your forecast. She's going to break down our weather headlines because we're going to see some chilly morning temperatures coming up.
I mean, they've been here and we're going to continue to see them. So no break from the cold, at least not yet. We're going to see those cold temperatures continue as well as that morning frost out there. Now, that frost advisory has not been issued for our valley spots, but we are seeing it near the Bay Area. But keep in mind, that doesn't mean we're not getting frost ourselves. We've been seeing it on the rooftops, on the grass, near freezing morning lows, and we've gotten some of the coldest temperatures so far this season for downtown Sacramento, coming in near freezing point and sunny with mostly clear skies through the weekend. Now, a dense fog advisory is in effect. We mentioned this a little earlier, but I want to repeat this because you're still going to see morning fog, even if your area does not have a dense fog advisory in place. That means areas in Modesto up to Stockton, Lodi, Galt, and into Sacramento are going to see patchy fog, but you are not looking at a dense fog advisory being issued for your area. This is from really Turlock all the way down to Bakersfield. That's where we're seeing the dense fog advisory issued until noon on Friday. Now, we're still going to see some areas of frost, and again, that's mostly for the Santa Rosa area and around the East Bay. But again, just because this isn't issued in our valley spots, we're still looking at frost on our grass, on our rooftops. So just to let you know how cold it's going to be out there, near freezing temperatures, take it nice and slow on the curves. You never know if a puddle maybe froze over, things of that sort. So just make sure you are safe and taking it nice and slow. Moving into our early morning hours, a half-mile in visibility is possible around the Sacramento area to Lodi, Stockton, Manteca, Modesto. So just as mentioned, the dense fog advisory is not in effect for these areas, but you are still looking at patchy areas of morning fog. Again, that'll expire around 9 a.m. to noon. Now, high pressure systems in place funneling in that cold air coming in from the north in the Gulf of Alaska. That's helping to drop our overnight lows. A few clouds overhead as we move from Friday to Saturday, but nothing impactful. Again, we're going to see some areas of fog into the weekend, really south of Sacramento and past Modesto. But our foothill spots will be looking at cold overnight lows, like Twain Harte at 32, 30 in Arnold, 39 degrees there in Jackson with 60 in Ione for the daytime high. Bay Area is looking at temperatures in the low 60s. And then finally, for the Sacramento area, we'll be looking at highs in the mid to upper 50s. But again, overnight lows near or if not below freezing point for some spots. Sacramento looking at overnight lows in the mid 30s. But moving into next week, we'll see some overnight lows in the mid 40s.
Next on To The Point, the race to come up with $8 million to save Clover Valley. The options on the table. Plus, an annual tradition at Amazon, why thousands of workers are planning to walk off the job. So time is running out on a pivotal deadline to save the last large area of undeveloped land in Rockland called Clover Valley. We first brought you the story of Jessup University's attempt to buy hundreds of acres of land for preservation back in early 2023. And as we reported, they paid the down payment, but have since then struggled to come up with the nearly $8 million to complete the purchase. ABC 10's Becca Habegger shows us that they're exploring all the options before the payment is due next month.
Amid the hustle and bustle of Rockland, Clover Valley is a sanctuary of peace, a more than 600-acre stretch of land within Rockland city limits.
It's like stepping back in time.
Jeff Darlington is executive director of Placer Land Trust, a nonprofit that has protected more than 14,000 acres throughout the county. It's partnering with private Christian Jessup University to turn Clover Valley into a preserve.
Anybody who's been in this area knows that it's a historic area. It's beautiful. It has Native American artifacts, also some wonderfully environmentally sensitive species.
Dr. John Jackson is president of Jessup University, which entered into a purchase agreement with the private developer that owns Clover Valley for 400 acres. The $2.25 million down payment was comprised of $1 million from the city of Lincoln, $1 million from Placer County, and $250,000 from Emigrant Trails Greenway Trust. That was paid about 2 years ago. Jessup then needed to raise about $8 million to complete the purchase, and time is running out.
This is so time sensitive. We have a large payment due in December. We're hoping to be able to complete that payment, and then we'll own it, and then we'll work with Placer Land Trust.
Placer Land Trust will place a conservation easement on the land, protecting it forever. But it can only do that once Jessup owns the land outright.
Fundraising has been a challenge. It's interesting to me. I thought this was such a huge area that people wanted to preserve, but we paid interest of about $500,000 last year, and we, since then, have not been able to really raise much principal.
Jessup and Placer Land Trust have applied for grants with no luck. So now they're hoping for a last-minute major donor or an extension from the landowner.
I'm not out of hope yet. We're pursuing an extension to next year. Give us some time. Recently, California passed Prop 4, which had the climate bond, which can have some funding that could help with this.
If the purchase falls through, the developer still has an entitlement to build some 500 homes.
Yeah.
I met with Doug Brewer and Tony Rickettsia of Clover Valley Foundation.
Our goal as a foundation is to preserve the entire valley. That means the valley floor, the slopes, and these ridges.
They've been fighting against development here for some 25 years.
Clover Valley somehow, over the course of 60 years, has somehow escaped development. And it would just be kind of heartbreaking to see this develop.
They're concerned about a development planned for the ridge top of Clover Valley. More on that in a future story, but they are aligned with Placer Land Trust and Jessup in wanting to preserve the valley floor and slopes. Anyone who wants to contribute can do so at jessup.edu/Clover Valley. In Rockland, Becca Habiger, ABC 10.
The city of Rockland is holding an informational meeting next Wednesday about the future of Clover Valley. That's 5 p.m. at the Rockland Police Department. All right, let's get into your price points tonight. The bird flu is having a major impact here in California. And that means egg prices are increasing, but the concerns, they go beyond the food supply. The current bird flu outbreak started back in February 2022. This led to more than 100 million birds, mostly egg-laying chickens, being wiped out. And California and other West Coast states are among the hardest hit in the most recent wave of the outbreak. There have been 55 confirmed human cases across the U.S., including 29 in California alone. While it hasn't caused severe illness, experts are concerned.
The problem is the virus is in so many different species, in so many different environments. We're finding it in human wastewater all over the U.S. It has this ability now and the potential to mutate and reassort in all kinds of ways that we can't predict. The more virus that's floating around, the more potential for that to happen.
The virus has also jumped to dairy cattle. It was recently detected in raw milk that was produced in Fresno. What has become an annual tradition is set to return tomorrow. Amazon workers are walking off the job worldwide using Black Friday to try to force the retail giant to increase their pay. So workers in 20 countries, including the U.S., are set to walk out as part of the Make Amazon Pay campaign, an annual effort that is actually now in its 5th year that aims to convince the company to increase wages and allow workers to unionize. The work stoppage is set to begin tomorrow on Black Friday, ending on Cyber Monday. An Amazon spokesperson responded to the stoppage saying, quote, "While we are always listening and looking for ways to improve, we remain proud of the competitive pay, comprehensive benefits, and engaging, safe work experience we provide our teams." Ahead of Black Friday shopping, consumer spending is off to a strong start. A new study found that people have already spent more than $77 billion with a B, dollars just online. ABC's Melissa Don has the shopping rundown.
It's the most magical time of the year for shoppers, and the holiday season is also considered the busiest spending season of the year. According to new e-commerce data gathered by Adobe Analytics, since the start of the holiday season on November 1st, consumers have already spent more than $77 billion online. That's up more than 9% year over year. And consumers are spending the most on electronics, and year over year data finds that spending is also up on necessities like apparel and groceries. But what may be holiday deals are adding up to holiday debt. At least 3 surveys from WalletHub, NerdWallet, and Intuit Credit Karma finds consumers are still carrying debt from last year's holiday spending. There's one survey finding that 1/3 of consumers are actually carrying at least $5,000 in debt. So while online shopping remains the top destination for holiday shoppers this year, according to the National Retail Federation, malls are actually expecting a good volume of foot traffic for those in-person shoppers. Melissa Adon, ABC News, Los Angeles.
And before you go shopping, there are some scams to be aware of. Ariane Daytil verifies.
Let's verify some major scams that happen on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. Are these ads really as good as they claim? Not always. Major shopping events like Black Friday become prime targets for fraudulent ads on social media. Always verify the legitimacy of an ad before clicking by checking the account that the ad was posted from and the URL that the ad goes to. Seeing any of those online offers for super cheap gift cards? Scammers use phony websites that sell deactivated or fake gift cards for popular retailers only to harvest personal information. It's safest to only buy gift cards from reputable retailers, preferably directly from the company itself. Phony websites try to imitate real ones, so check for spelling errors and incorrect logos. Always check for HTTPS in the URL to be sure that the site is secure. Fake sites pop up every year. If it seems suspicious or unfamiliar, use Google to look up the real site. Be careful of deals that seem too good to be true. Phishing scams spike around Black Friday. Be wary of emails offering exclusive deals. Double check by going to the store's website directly. Do not click the email link unless the sender's email address is correct. Scammers will also use text messages to pretend to be official agencies, such as the U.S. Customs and Border Protection. Be skeptical of unexpected texts telling you that your packages need verification. Do not click on unfamiliar links and don't respond to suspicious text messages. Shop smart, stay safe, and don't let these scams ruin your holidays.
A happy Thanksgiving from the Sacramento Zoo. They shared these pictures of animals enjoying their favorite holiday treats. Staff fed or cared for the animals before going home to celebrate with their families, and the zoo will reopen tomorrow. Before we go, I want to say here, the To The Point team, we are incredibly grateful for our community here. We're incredibly grateful to our viewers. We could not do this show without you. Everyone that has reached out, that has given us story ideas, from the bottom of our hearts, we are very grateful for the support here that you have given us. And as always, To The Point does not end here. If you want to watch our stories featured on our show, download our free ABC 10 Plus app. Hey, it's Alex. I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching. The To The Point team and I love hearing from you, and I hope that you'll stay in touch. And don't forget, you can always email me and the team at tothepoint@abc10.com, or you can even send us a text message at 916-321-3310.
Thanks for watching ABC 10 Plus. And now that you're here, why don't we take a look around and see what else is here? The very first tile on your left is always going to be streaming 24/7. You can find us adjacent to that, breaking news if it's there. And then right next to that, a replay of the most recent newscast. Whether it's ABC 10 Morning News at 5, 6, or beyond, it's going to be there. The forecast beyond that, and then right beyond that, the news that matters the most. Now that you know the basic tiles, let's go up to the top and take a deeper dive into news. We have every single newscast that you would need, including To The Point with Alex Bell, taking a deeper dive into the issues. Beyond that, ABC 10 Morning News at 5 and 6 and 11, the evening shows as well. Below that, you can watch the top stories from To The Point. Under that, Dollars and Cents, where you can learn how to navigate this challenging economy. And below that, you can watch our award-winning ABC 10 Special Investigations, where we hold the powerful accountable. Going into weather, look, it's the 10-day forecast, getting you ready for the weekend and beyond. Beyond that, sports. I know you care about the Sacramento Kings. We have the most comprehensive guide to anything, everything Kings in the locker room and on the court. We have it. Below that, I know you care about the San Francisco 49ers. We can't mention Bay Sports without talking about the Oakland A's. We have that too. What's super exciting, I know you care about high school sports. You'll never find a more comprehensive guide and team dedicated to high school sports. Backing out again, come up to the top and join me on Verify. I'm super excited about this. Our experts are checking the facts, verifying the truth for you. Jump up now to shows. Very excited about this. Oh, look. It's Take a Look. This is my show. I love movies, and if you love movies or streaming shows, whether it's on screens this big, or this big, it's Take a Look. Recently went behind the scenes, sat down with Lady Gaga and Joaquin Phoenix to talk about Joker 2. I love the movie, and oh, I just heard you shout you hate the movie. Jump in, we talk about it on this show. Other shows, Bartell's Backroads, go up and down the state of California, tank of gas getaways, one fuel cell getaway, like places like the Toy Museum. This is what kids did before they had screens. Over here, the Moaning Caverns of Calaveras County, one of the most coveted caves in all of California. You know, watching this show, I discovered there's a cave that could fit the entire Statue of Liberty in your own backyard. You'll find about that and more with Bartell's Backroads. Down below that, To The Point. It is one of my favorite newscasts because they talk about news with Alex Bell the way you talk about news. It's conversational, but in-depth at the same time. Below that, Your California Life. Love this show. Whether it's entertainment, food, beverage, lifestyle, it's there. Desiree Shepherd hosts and does an amazing job. So there you have it. It's ABC 10 Plus, the app. What do you need? We heard you and we got it. Thanks for watching. Thanks for streaming.